You're watching Reality Check, the snowballing controversy over a story by the Wall Street Journal over Facebook's reported bias in favor of the BJP. Just to bring everyone up to speed, the report says that Anki Das, Facebook's top public policy executive in India, was against banning a BJP MLA for his inflammatory anti-Muslim posts because it may damage the company's business prospects in India. This despite an internal assessment that not only had that the MLA, Raja Singh, violated the company's hate speech rules, but qualified him as dangerous in the real world, according to the journal. A Facebook spokesperson conceded to the Wall Street Journal that Das had raised concerns about the political fallout that would result from designating Singh a dangerous individual, but added that her opposition was not the sole factor that determined whether the BJP politician would remain on the platform. The spokesperson added that Facebook is still considering whether or not it will ban Raja Singh from Facebook. The net result of that is that Raja Singh's account is still active on Facebook. What you're seeing on your screen is the account in Raja Singh's name, and it still has about 16,000 followers. So his page, and by the way, he's a serial offender when it comes to hate speech, is still active. Also active is the account of the other BJP leader, Kapil Mishra. Now remember, Mark Zuckerberg had actually red flagged Kapil Mishra as an example of the kind of insightful speech that Facebook takes down. This is a reference to Kapil Mishra's speech made just before the Delhi riots, where he warned that if the police don't clear the roadblocks, then they will enter the streets. But that video, though it was deleted, Kapil Mishra's account is still active on Facebook. It's a verified account with over 6 lakh followers. BJP MLA Raja Singh, however, has posted a video claiming he's not even on Facebook. Let's listen.
मेरे नाम पर कई फेसबुक अकाउंट खुले हुए हैं, उसका मैं जिम्मेदार नहीं हूं। कई लोग हैं राज्य में, यानी पूरे भारत में मेरे नाम पर कई अकाउंट खुले हुए हैं। उन सभी लोगों को तो मैं नहीं रोक सकता हूं। मेरा फेसबुक अकाउंट, जो एक मेरा ऑफिशियल अकाउंट था, 2018 में उस अकाउंट को हैक करके ब्लॉक कर दिया गया, जिसकी कंप्लेंट मैंने यहाँ के साइबराबाद कमिश्नर को दी है। मेरा सिर्फ एक ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब अकाउंट है और मेरा एक ऑफिशियल ट्विटर अकाउंट है।
Facebook, in request to our response, sent us this statement. They said, and this is a generic statement, they said, we prohibit hate speech and content that incites violence. We enforce these policies globally without regard to anyone's political position. While we know there is more to do, we're making progress on enforcement. We conduct regular audits of our processes to ensure fairness and accuracy. Now remember, this is not the first time that Facebook has come under fire for a pro-BJP bias. In 2019, before the Lok Sabha elections, Facebook deleted hundreds of pages linked to the Congress and the BJP, but only named the Congress IT cell in its statement. As fact-checking sites like Alt News pointed out, this despite the deleted pro-BJP pages having many more followers, yet no reference to the BJP. The total followers of the deleted pro-Congress pages on Facebook came to about 2 lakh. The followers of a single deleted pro-BJP Facebook page was alone 26 lakhs. Also, there have been political statements against the alleged Facebook BJP bias. Here is the TMC's Derek O'Brien in Parliament in June last year.
And I'm not here to promote a book. The real face of Facebook in India. You won't read about this in the newspapers. You won't see this on the television channels, because this tells a sordid story. A sordid story. Facebook senior management in India are de facto campaign managers for the BJP. Facebook's Delhi office is virtually an extended BJP IT cell. And I'm saying this with all responsibility. Facebook censored anti-BJP news and put other parties in jeopardy. The Facebook algorithm censors anti-BJP content. And then you come to WhatsApp, owned by Facebook. I don't want to dwell WhatsApp. Everybody knows about WhatsApp. I have one lovely quote. WhatsApp, September 2018. We are capable of delivering any message we want to the public, whether it's sweet or sour, true or fake. We can do this only because we have 35 WhatsApp groups. This is how we can make everything viral. Wow, unquote. Said this in September 2018. Now he is the Home Minister of India. Where are we headed?
Also, in an unfortunate incident, Anki Das of Facebook has complained to the police that she is getting threats on Twitter. In a police complaint which names 5 people, she says the accused have intentionally vilified me due to their political affiliations and are now engaged in online and offline abuse, subjecting me to criminal intimidation and making sexually colored remarks. All right, joining us tonight on Reality Check, we have with us Prateek Sinha, co-founder of altnews.in, Govindraj Ethiraj, founder of India Spend and Boom, which is another fact-checking site. We have Supriya Srinathe, national spokesperson of the Congress, Vivek Reddy of the BJP, and also going to be joined by Mahua Moitra, Lok Sabha MP of the Trinamool Congress. First, let me just start with you, Prateek, because you've been looking in a way at the BJP and its linked handles and pages, their dominance on Facebook. But now we have this report which actually seems to indicate that Facebook may be helping the ruling party with its dominance. Does this surprise you?
Firstly, here's a small fact check. Mr. Raja Singh says that his account was hacked in 2018, but he has tweeted in 2019 saying that my official Facebook page has been unpublished, removed a couple of days back. Facebook, may I know the reason? So while now he's claiming that his his page was unpublished, hacked in 2018. In 2019, he has tweeted that his, Facebook account has been unpublished or removed. So both are contradictory.
Okay.
Regarding the allegations that the Wall Street Journal article makes, we have consistently found that, first is in general about Facebook not doing a good job at weeding out misinformation, weeding out hate. And we all know by now that misinformation is from all the ideological spectrum. And Facebook generally does a bad job at it. And so do other platforms. I'm not singling out Facebook here.
Right.
Twitter does not even have a policy on misinformation. And YouTube doesn't do much about it either.
Sure.
But the article that you quoted, the Alt News article, since then and ever since we have been researching, and we do believe that there is an inherent bias in the way Facebook works. Leading up to 2019 elections, for them to only point out Congress pages and not the BJP pages, when it was amply clear that BJP was the one who had a much bigger propaganda cell, even at that point in time. That itself pointed out to, the messaging that is coming out of Facebook being one of a biased nature. And there are multiple pages which exist on Facebook where hate is regularly put out. There are pages like Postcard News, etc., which still exist. They are serial promoters of disinformation, and they have not been taken down.
Okay. Vivek Reddy, one of the things which has been surprising in this is the BJP has come out very, very strongly, almost in defense of Facebook. This is something I'm not able to understand, because one of the more damning aspects or revelations in the article about the supposed link was that the Facebook spokesperson accepts that Anki Das did convey the fact that unless the page was not taken down, this was going to have a political fallout. There is going to be a fallout. So that Facebook is virtually accepting that she, that's the position she took. So,
first of all,
Vivek Reddy, why is the BJP then defending Facebook?
Yes, first of all, let me clarify to what Prateek Sinha said. I don't think this categorization or labeling of postcard is anything like it wants to represent. Please mark his words. Please mark yourself, Mr. Prateek Sinha. You can't use such words against postcard. I don't think you have a right to do so. I think postcard may take you out for defamation. First of all,
Vivek, you're not defending postcard news, are you?
I know.
Are you defending
but
postcard news?
Some misinformation here.
You're
Some
defending
misinformation
post.
here by
My
Pratik
God,
Sinha, who's
Vivek.
supposed to be the who's supposed to be the person
What
wearing
is
the
he
mask
saying?
of
Does he
truth.
even realize?
He is the one who's wearing the mask of truth and saying, "I will tell the truth to the world."
Oh
But
my
he's
God,
saying
Vivek,
today,
what are you
Are you
saying?
defending
What are you
postcard news?
defending?
Okay, this is
That's
already.
the correction I'm trying to make.
Okay, one at a time, one at a time. This
That's the
discussion.
correction I'm trying to make.
Vivek,
The
Vivek,
other
one second,
correction-
Vivek, hold on.
Clear
This
about
discussion,
this,
this
number
debate
one.
is going south
Second.
even before it started.
Second.
Vivek, just hold on.
Second.
Vivek.
It has to go
Vivek.
southwards Because Pratik Sinha took it southwards.
Vivek,
Where else
my
has
friend,
that
just a
happened?
second.
To the lowest level.
Vivek, can I just, I don't want to lower mics.
Yeah.
Can I just come in for a second?
Yes, to tell me
Vivek,
what you are saying.
Hold on,
What
Vivek,
you are
you're
saying.
not letting anyone else speak. Okay, just a second,
I
Vivek.
can't even hear him.
Vivek, I will come to you in a second. I'll come back to you, Vivek. The thing is that, for our viewers who are not watching and they don't understand, Postcard News is this, it's a website. I don't know if it's still a website or a Facebook page,
I don't think he's aware.
which is a mountain of misinformation and fake news. And when one can sit here and cite example after example. So
What is
I don't
Vivek
think
talking
I don't think you should get into defending that. If we can just focus on the current allegation, Vivek, about the fact that the BJP is being unfairly favored by Facebook. That's the Wall Street Journal report.
On
Now,
this, Vasu,
what do you say about that?
yes, on this, Vasu, first of all, let me tell you
Yeah.
that we don't know how the hierarchy within Facebook works. What role Ankita Das plays,
Anki.
whether Ankita Das's decisions are decisive, they are final, or whether there are higher ups taking decisions, or whether the lower people who are flagging these issues
Yeah.
are the ones taking the decisions. Well, these are totally, in the vague. We don't know. How can we say that whatever is written by the reporter in Wall Street Journal is the absolute truth? I mean, Pratik Sinha should have pointed out that. There's one thing Pratik Sinha said, perhaps, that across the political spectrum,
Yeah.
we get this kind of hate speech. Well, why doesn't Wall Street take up those issues? Why doesn't Wall Street say that, look here, across the political spectrum, like Pratik Sinha said, across the political spectrum, there is hate news. Why do you pick a solitary instance of BJP?
Hold on.
And
What
say
are you
this is the
talking
entire
about?
No, one
Why are you
second.
doing that?
Vivek, the story
Why are you
is
doing
not
that?
about,
If you accept-
it's not about
if you
hate
accept
speech
it is
by
across
Indian
the political
politicians.
spectrum,
It's about
then
whether
attack
Facebook
everyone.
is
Why is-
acting in the favor of India's ruling party. That's what the story is about.
Absolutely false.
Okay, you're
Absolutely
saying the
false.
story is
There are
Okay,
posts
can I
against
please come in?
absolutely false.
Vasu,
I'm
let
coming
me
to
just
everyone else.
clarify.
I'm
The
coming to
Congress
everyone else.
spokesperson must have some patience.
Okay.
Let me clarify.
Okay.
There are posts against Indian gods. Has Facebook removed it? It has not.
Okay,
Who
can I
is
just...
this stirring up hate speech?
Okay, let
And
me
why
just...
is Congress silent about it?
Okay, I'll just come to everybody one at a time. Moa Moitra, Vivek Reddy's point, how do you believe just the fact if it's come in Wall Street Journal, so what?
Well, I think I'll soon have to start believing Postcard News and Op India if he has his way. But while I'm waiting for that, I think the article in the Wall Street Journal is enough to at least have a solid discussion on. I'll point out two instances of this Facebook bias. Obviously, this has been going around for a while. I've had people off the record tell me, even within the BJP, that during the elections that Facebook has obviously opened themselves up for the BJP. But given that's not on record, I can't put that out there in a more definitive way. But I'll give you two instances. One is today, or the last 2 days after the Wall Street Journal article, I'm in the IT committee, and Shashi Tharoor, who is chairman of the IT committee, we itemize and get permission from the speaker for the agenda of the meetings throughout the year.
Right.
And there's a topic called Safeguarding Citizens' Rights and Prevention of Misuse of Social News Media Platforms. So we have itemized and bulletinized and got the permission from the speaker to call people and for have them come on and depose.
Right.
So, and after that, it is the chairman's prerogative to call people. So after this has come up, obviously, given that this is such a serious allegation, we have decided to call Facebook India in to come in to say, is this happening?
Yes.
And the BJP is completely up in arms. A BJP member of the committee, Nishikant Dubey, has gone and tweeted just now that I'm going to write to the Lok Sabha speaker. This is not on. I don't see what the great love affair between Facebook and the BJP is. Why does a BJP member take it so personally? The first. The second is an instance that many of you may not know about. This was, I think, in the last session or the one before that. the lady MPs, the women MPs during the Lok Sabha session got an SMS and a call from the Lok Sabha Speaker's office saying that there's going to be a technology training program for women MPs in the Parliament House Annex.
Okay.
So all of us went there, about 17, 18 of us went there.
Yes.
And when we entered the room, I was shocked, Vasu. I was shocked. It was like a Facebook birthday party. The entire room was done up in Facebook paraphernalia. There were balloons. There was a laptop for each of us with the Facebook logo on top of it. There was a little goodie bag there. Anki Das was there. There was another gentleman. There was Natasha Jog, and I name her. She was in NDTV and is now with Facebook. And the entire Facebook team were waiting to do this.
So you're saying Facebook was conducting this training?
Facebook was conducting this training inside the premises of Parliament. 1 minute. Please, hold on.
Okay.
Number one.
I'll
1 second.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you. I'll
Let me,
Vivek,
I'll come to you.
Till you're elected to the Lok Sabha, Vivek, let me explain to you the little rules that function there. Private entities and non-governmental organizations, especially foreign entities, are not normally allowed within the things like technology within the Lok Sabha premises.
Okay.
Right? So even when we have things like the NIC, we can't use Gmail. We use the NIC.
Okay.
Lok Sabha
Fair
TV
enough.
can't
Let me
get
move.
a lot of...
Okay, you cited two instances.
That's an expert training.
Yeah, you cited two instances. Just hold on a second. Supriya Srinath. Yes, Supriya.
No, I think Mahua Moitra has put it out in the open. She's not just an elected member, and we all need to respect that. She's also a member of the IT Parliamentary Standing Committee. But I just have two things to say. I mean, what is this defense that the BJP is doing of Facebook? If you ask me, the things that have come to light, the things that have been alleged, are actually going to rot our democracy. They are going to perpetuate hate in the society. If anything, the BJP and the government should use this as an opportunity to probe Facebook. And I will take 30 seconds to tell you three things. In Singapore, while in deposition, the Facebook authorities told the policymakers there, we don't take off anything on our own unless there is a complaint. In India, you can keep complaining, they still don't take it off.
Okay.
7 days back, Facebook approached the police, averted what would have been an attempted suicide case on Facebook. I'm happy about that. But if you can avert one suicide, you can avert a lot of hate mongering on your own proactively. Why don't you do that? And last but not the least, in US, Turkey and Europe, in the name of coordinated inauthentic behavior, you keep taking down pages. Why are you so disciplined not doing it in India? I don't understand. Why are there different rules for this country?
Okay.
Because you have your commercial business interests at heart and nothing else explains that.
Okay. Let me come to Govind. Let me come to Govind. Vivek, I'm coming to you. Govindra Dechiraj of Boom and IndiaSpend now. If I understand right, you have been partners with Facebook. Is that correct? To do fact checking with them and whatnot. But how does that work, Govind? When you have such instances, egregious instances of hate speech and all of that posted on Facebook, it doesn't, invite any action on the leaders involved. Do you have, like, when you interface with them, are you able to raise this, or how does it exactly work?
No, Srinivasan, I think hate speech and fake news are very, very distinct issues. I mean, we focus on fact checking. That is fact checking statements made by either people in public life, but not in Boom, or essentially posts that have been flagged as false by Facebook users. False. Hate speech is a different category. Hate speech does not necessarily involve facts. It's about me calling you names or me saying that I don't like your face because of your community. And the law quite very, very easy, cleanly defines that. So I don't think the two should be confused even for the purpose of our discussion right now.
Fair enough.
Just a quick point on what happened in the bringing down of pages in April 2019. About 1,000 pages, I think, were brought down.
Yes.
What was reported because Facebook first put out that statement were to do with Congress pages. But as The Print and Boom Live also brought out on April the 2nd, there were about 200 pro-BJP pages which were also brought down. And many of them were prominent names. I don't need to get into them. So I don't think it's entirely correct to say that only Congress pages were brought down in April, because we fact-checked that.
No, of course. So that's the point we made. That's the thing that was surprising, though, Govind, which is the point we were just making earlier, that despite that, the Facebook statement only mentioned the Congress IT cell. That was the thing which raised eyebrows.
Right. So, and for which Facebook should respond, not me or any of us.
Fair enough.
I think the larger point is well taken, Srinivasan. I think all platforms have to be far more alert. I mean, there is equal, if not more, hate flowing freely on platforms like Twitter. And I think, as it was pointed out, they don't even have a policy. I think the important thing is that we have to be responsive. The law has to be responsive. I'm not saying in a general way, but in a specific way to complaints by people saying that there is enmity being promoted. And the platform should also be careful and therefore be responsive. I think that to that, I don't think there is any excuse on any platform, whether it's Google, YouTube, Facebook or Twitter.
You know, Vivek, I was just going to say that when it comes to somebody like Raja Singh, it's not even a question of whether Facebook should ban this person from their platform. The BJP should seriously consider whether you want this person in your ranks. He is a serial offender of hate speech. The kind of statements he's made, I have a sampling here. I even dread to read them out. He said things like terrorism is spreading in India because of that green book, reference the Quran. I want to see an India where those who talk about killing Hindus are shot and beheaded. It is because of secular beats and abuse starting with B, I can't even say it on TV, that Mughals and the British ruled us. Every Hindu should carry weapons like lathis and attack other community members if they said anything wrong. If they don't leave, shoot them. This is about illegal immigrants in Assam. I mean, this is just a sampling. Shouldn't this person be banned from the BJP? Forget Facebook.
First of all, they have removed his post from Facebook. That action is taken. Second is there are many personal views of people. I don't think the party affiliates with those views. The third is that
how can you? These are public statements he's making.
What I'm saying is, let me just tell you. In
These
all
are
these
public
cases,
statements.
Where is the equal treatment by Facebook? Where are the
equal to whom?
Speeches
like
of the other side of the Congress removed? Where are the hate speeches of the left removed? They are not removed.
These are personal
And
views.
why did that figure in the article? Is Ankita Das responsible for retaining them?
Anki.
Those things don't come out.
Okay.
And the biggest person who has fooled Facebook, India, the people of India, is the Congress by taking data, private data from Facebook and using it for elections.
So on
And
that,
Congress is the one.
I have a point in that, if Vivek you'll allow me. Yeah, I have a point on that. We actually have a graphic. You can put it up because Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad did, in a sense, there was a barb directed at Rahul Gandhi. Just a second, Supriya, just allow me to come in for a second. So Ravi Shankar Prasad did tweet to Rahul Gandhi saying, who are you to talk? What about the Congress's link to Cambridge Analytica? Now, basis that in 2018, Mr. Prasad had actually ordered a probe by the CBI into this alleged data theft by Cambridge Analytica. 2 years later, the matter is still at the preliminary inquiry stage. No FIR has been registered by the CBI. The PE has not been converted into a formal FIR. Matter remains where it is.
Can I?
You are aware, Vasu.
Vivek, what?
You are aware, Vasu, that
if you have evidence,
are big
go for it.
They are big multinational corporations.
Right.
They try to act bigger than nations. So you need to get data from them to track this and to bring them to book. So it will take time and it will be done.
It will be done. 2 years later, we're still waiting. Okay,
which has fooled this nation by hacking into private data of people.
Okay, last word. Supriya, we are out of time. Very quickly, yes.
Absolutely. I will just say one thing on Cambridge Analytica. If you did have the intention to go clean on this, you would have. But to answer two questions.
Very
quickly.
Did
you not take the services of OBI and HCL? Of course you did. You have too much of your own skeletons to protect. Please do that. But for the democracy of this nation to be alive, please go and probe Facebook. Please get them to task. They cannot help decisiveness in this country.
Okay, we're out of time.
Data from Facebook.
Okay, we're out of time. I think as a starting point, if we could at least agree that the Parliamentary Standing Committee gets to investigate this, if there's consensus on that, perhaps that's a start. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. But we're completely out of time. We will come back to this. I know everyone wants to make that one last point, but we will come back to this. Thank you all so much for joining us, and thanks so much for watching. Goodbye. Good night.